Hi everyone, so in this video I really wanted to talk about motivation and how to stay motivated and how to get motivated, how to stay motivated when you're drawing. But first of all, I just want to kind of explain the artwork that I'm doing in this video. I recently started a theme of doing drawings related to the water or aquatic life or just anything that lives in the water, anything to do with oceans, rivers, lakes, just stuff like that, because I find nature is one of my biggest inspirations, and doing a theme is one of the things that helps me stay motivated. So I thought that would be an interesting topic for this video, and I just wanted to say that there is something wrong with the anatomy of her face, and I didn't realize it until I finished the whole drawing. So after I took a picture of it, I just fixed it, and I kind of had to shift a few of her features over and stretch some of them to make it more correct. But yeah, that's just what I had to do at the end. So for this video, I want to talk about motivation, which is something that is so difficult to maintain, and it's so difficult to grasp the whole concept of it. How do you stay motivated? It's hard to figure out the things that make you motivated to draw, or if you really just feel so unmotivated but you're inspired to draw, that is also really frustrating because you have all these ideas but you just can't bring yourself to draw them. And this can kind of apply to everyday tasks, but this video is mainly geared towards artwork and drawing and things like that. You can be sitting there with a pencil, or just you're not even at your desk yet, or you don't have your sketchbook out yet, and you're thinking in your head just draw, just do it, just draw, but it's not that easy. You have to actually mentally convince yourself to draw, or at least physically force yourself to draw, and then maybe once you get the ball rolling, you'll start to be able to, it'll become easier as you go. But the thing that helps me the most is I kind of think about why I want to draw. Why do you want to draw? Why are you an artist? Why do you enjoy drawing? What are some of your future goals? You just kind of have to convince yourself and bargain with yourself. Hey, why do you want to draw? Why are you trying to motivate yourself to draw? What is it that you want? And you just, if you want art as a career, then you think, well, I need to improve. I need to build up work. I need to post regularly on my social media. That's why I want to draw. Also, I enjoy drawing, even though it doesn't feel like I'm motivated right now. I know that I enjoy it, and that once I actually sit myself down and force myself to do it, it will become an enjoyable process. And even if the process wasn't enjoyable, your final piece of work might have been worth it. Usually it is, because when you're drawing, you will improve. Drawing won't affect you negatively. It won't affect your skill level negatively, because every piece of art that you create or every sketch that you do just contributes to your overall skill. Another thing that helps me a lot, I don't do this as much as I should, but this kind of applies to days where you're just feeling like you're not really getting anywhere, and your artwork isn't progressing, and you aren't making as much progress as you wanted to. And what I do for this is to just look through your old artwork and see your improvement, notice your improvement, try to analyze it, or you don't have to analyze it. You can just look at it and go, wow, that looks so much worse than the stuff I'm drawing today. I've actually come a lot farther than I realized, and you can even take that a step further and redraw some of your old drawings. And once you put them side by side, you can really feel proud of all your accomplishments. And yeah, this is why it's worth it to force yourself to draw. This is why it's worth it to try to motivate yourself. So that helps a lot of artists. I've seen a lot of people do this, and they always say yes, this is a really great thing to do. You have to realize how much progress you've made, because you don't really know what kind of skill you have until you have something to compare it to. So, and don't compare yourself to other artists. Don't compare yourself to other artists and think, oh my gosh, they are so much better than me. I am never going to reach their level. Think of it like this. If you put in the practice like they did, you will reach their level, and use them as a source of inspiration instead. This is another tip that I've been doing recently. It's if you've been drawing a lot or not at all, or just like you just really, really can't bring yourself to draw, or you just find that whatever you draw just isn't helping and you just don't feel like drawing, to get yourself started, I like to brainstorm using words rather than images. So if you want to think of concepts for drawings that you want to do, or sketches or anything like that, write down a bunch of words that can kind of inspire you or help you figure out what exactly it is that you want to draw, because sometimes, even though a picture is worth 1,000 words, sometimes words help more than pictures. And then once you start kind of getting the ball rolling on your ideas, you might start to think like, oh, this is how I could draw that. I could depict that this way. And it just kind of gets the ideas started. Also, your surroundings can impact your motivation. So if you prefer a clean area to work, clean your area, and then you'll be able to work better. If you prefer something that's cozy or messy or something like that, then leave it that way. And just like try to set yourself up for being successful rather than a place that is just going to stress you out while you're drawing there. Or just try to go out, like go outside, or just like maybe a change of scenery can help too. So either something you're really, really comfortable with, or something that you're not comfortable with but that you want to be comfortable with, just as like a change of scenery, because sometimes a change is as good as a rest. Also, try to draw regularly so that it becomes second nature, as if it's part of your daily routine. So the more you do something, the easier it is to do it. So if you sketch every single day for like half an hour, 1 hour, you might find yourself actually wanting to sketch every day, and it won't be like something that you're trying to force yourself to do. I've experienced this recently because I've been trying to fill a sketchbook that I have because I want to get a new sketchbook, but I don't want to get a new sketchbook if I have a perfectly good empty one. So I've been trying to sketch in it every single day because I want to fill it up with drawings so I can get a new sketchbook. And I found myself actually wanting to sketch after, like, I used to sketch every single day, but now it's more like I start planning drawings every day, but I don't go through many different sketches. But a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I started to like sketch many different things every day in my sketchbook, and I would find myself wanting to go back to it and wanting to go back to my sketchbook. If there's nothing else that I could really find myself wanting to do, I always had the sketchbook that I could do, and I knew that was a productive thing for me to be doing because sketching really helps you improve your skills, and it's mostly a source for me to practice my style and anatomy. Those are the two things I really want to work on. So the more you sketch, the easier it will be to sketch. So try to make things part of your daily routine. Also, something that kind of motivates me to start drawing is to try something new. Not necessarily the subject matter of the artwork, but the medium that I'm using to make it. So if I've been doing a lot of digital drawing, I find when I switch to traditional, it's so new, and I see it as a challenge, and as it's just like a good change from the digital to the traditional. And if I switch between markers or paints or watercolor, I find it so much more interesting and enjoyable than doing the same old thing over and over and over. And also it's really good to be able to use different mediums. It just kind of diversifies your skills as an artist. So I find that switching up the mediums, whether it's between digital and traditional or between different traditional mediums, I find that to be really, really helpful to keep myself motivated, or to like kind of like sets goals for myself to, like, I want to become better at pencil crayons, so I'm going to do a pencil crayon drawing today and try to make it better than all the other ones I've done. And then the next day you might be thinking, I'm really sick of pencil crayon, but markers are looking really nice now, and then that day you do a marker drawing, and it just kind of keeps on going in that kind of cycle. And that is what works really well for me. And also, if you accomplish something that you really wanted to accomplish, or you did something that was a goal of yours, or you completed a goal of some sort, you can reward yourself, like go out and do something that you enjoy doing as a reward for what you've done, because then you know if you do something else, you'll be able to reward yourself again, and that can be a good motivator. So like if you finish this sketchbook, you get to buy a new sketchbook. And if you use up all these art supplies, you can go buy new art supplies. Or if you complete this drawing you've been working on for a month, you get to go and treat yourself with some kind of fancy art supply. Just stuff like that can also motivate you. Also, doing a 30-day challenge or like a week challenge, or just, have you ever heard of Inktober or Mermaid, which is where you draw mermaids every day in the month of May? I find doing 30-day challenges are really good because you kind of feel like you're obligated to complete the tasks, to actually finish the challenge. It's instead of you saying, I want to draw every day, it's I'm participating in this challenge and I have to draw something every day. And this could be a good thing or a bad thing, but overall I don't see how it's that bad of a thing to kind of like force yourself to draw every day, unless it's like really mentally draining for you. But if you can, it'll be worth it in the end. Kind of like the reasons I've been saying, because drawing every day can help you stay motivated. So doing a 30-day challenge is really rewarding, and I would highly recommend that. Usually they're a month, but you can invent your own challenge if you want to. Also, something I find very motivating is to go through your favorite artist's artwork for inspiration. I find that to be very motivating because they're your favorite artists for a reason. They inspire you. You like what they create and you want to create something that also inspires you as much as their art inspires you. And I also find it really useful to go looking for new artists, because seeing something fresh and new can be inspiration enough to go and draw something yourself. So every time I'm kind of thinking like, I don't really know what I want to do with my art today or this week or this month or whatever, I'll go looking for new artists. And then when I see how they do something, I'm like, oh, I need to try that. And then I try to incorporate new techniques or like new subject matter into my artwork. And just looking at other artists can be such a huge source of inspiration. Just don't compare yourself to them, because a lot of them have been drawing for longer than you have, and it's not good to say like, oh, why are they so much better than me? Because if you draw for as long as they have, you will become as good as they are. Also, I find doing drawings related to a theme, like this drawing in the video that you're watching, try to think of a theme and try to think of drawings that go with that theme. It'll be like a project that is always constantly ongoing, or you can have a goal in mind of, I want to do 10 drawings all related to plants or something. And then when you're done, you have this collection of art that they all go together, and it feels like you've accomplished something. And while you're working on it, if you sit down to draw something and you don't know what to draw, you can always go back to your theme and say, okay, I'm going to draw something related to my theme because I don't know what else to draw, and I want to eventually finish my series of drawings that all relate to each other. So that's kind of what I've been doing with these like water themed drawings, because I hope to have a whole bunch of them that kind of go together, but so far they're not really matching each other that well. Like the theme is the same, but I'm just kind of using this as a way to become better at watercolor, because I'm not that good, like I'm not that confident with watercolor, and I want to become better with it because it's just the material itself goes such a long way, and it seems like a relatively cheap kind of art supply, just because you don't have to constantly be replacing it, because watercolor lasts really long. That's why I've been doing this. And also, just my last tip here is to take a break if you need a break, and don't burn yourself out. Like if you need to learn to recognize the difference between being burnt out or just having no motivation. So usually the best way to tell this is if you haven't really drawn that day yet, or that week, or however often you draw, if you haven't been able to force yourself to convince yourself to draw that day, it's probably because you have no motivation. But if you've been drawing all day long and you really want to do some sketches in the evening, but you just can't, your hand just won't make the mark on the paper, you're probably burnt out. So just like try to recognize when you're burnt out and take a break if you are, because that is much more helpful than forcing yourself to draw while you're burnt out. And by burnt out, I mean you're creatively exhausted for that day. But if you have no motivation, that's when you need to think, okay, if I really want to draw today, I need to think of a way to convince myself to draw. Because if your mind's not in it, then it's much more difficult to make your hand actually draw. So just overall, think about why you want to draw. Why are you an artist? Why do you enjoy drawing? And what are your future goals? And just try to go through like all the things I said in this video, other videos that other artists say, just like try to find something that your mind can latch onto, and that can be your reason to draw for that day. That's kind of what I do. These are just my personal opinions. These are just the techniques that work best for me, and this video is much longer than I expected. I am so sorry, but I hope you found this helpful. This is how I stay motivated, and I wish you the best of luck on your own motivation. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.